Hello, I'm Robert Mackley. I'm the Vicar of Little St Mary's here in Cambridge, and we're here on Good Friday, the day when Christians mark the death of Jesus Christ, the day when all that we've been reflecting on and doing during the whole course of the church year is summed up in the death of someone who is both human and divine. We talk about celebrating Good Friday, which can seem rather strange given that the central event of Good Friday is the death of an innocent human being. But we celebrate it because it is not just the death of an innocent human being, it's the death of the Son of God. And so it's the death of death and the beginning of absolute aliveness. We celebrate it because it means that there is no part of human experience that God hasn't shared. And therefore, there is no part of human experience that God can't transform and redeem. We often think to ourselves, I can't bring that to God, or we might think, I did that, or I experienced this, and that means I can never be one with God. I can never be at peace with God or myself. And yet the point of Good Friday, the reason why we celebrate it, is exactly that there is nothing we've done that puts us beyond the pale of God, because God has gone there already. We may think there's some terrible crime that's been done that can't be forgiven. Well, on Good Friday, the worst crime possible was done, the murder of the Son of God after hours of agonizing torture. We celebrate it because it means that there is nothing beyond the scope of God's love. I think one of the most powerful parts of our worship on Good Friday is when we come to something that's called the veneration of the cross, and people are invited to come forward and touch or kiss the crucifix. It's a big wooden crucifix held at the front of church, and people come forward. And watching people do that is incredibly moving. Seeing old and young, men and women, people of all sort of backgrounds coming and just touching that cross and bringing with them who knows what, bringing with them maybe the loss of a loved one that year, or some hidden sorrow, or some pain. And in coming forward and just touching or kissing that cross, they're uniting their loss with that of Jesus. But also in that simple touch or other kiss or veneration, I think the other thing that they're doing is physically connecting with a love of God for them. Good Friday matters to me at a personal level because it's the day when I can bring the parts of myself I'm not proud of, parts of my life that I might be ashamed of or embarrassed about. And I can also bring my anger and my impenitence and my sin and know it's not rejected by God, it's not pushed away by him, but embraced. Those arms spread wide on the cross are arms spread wide to embrace. They're arms spread wide in love, in welcome and invitation, in being called home. The great image of the crucifix is, of course, an image of death and torture, but it's an image of death and torture which God has taken and completely transformed. So no longer is it a sign of tragedy and just the end, but it's a sign that whatever mess I've made of something, God's grace and presence can transform it. If you can transform even the Roman Empire's worst form of punishment into a sign of victory, then you can certainly transform the mess I make of things into something that speaks of hope. Holy Week and Easter is a wonderful time to come back to church, and really I want to just invite everybody to find a church and to go there over this time, because this is a wonderful week to rediscover your humanity, rediscover the meaning of existence, why we're here, what are we here for, what is all this about, and you can look online and find your nearest church, find out what time their worship is, and share in as much of it as you can. In a sense, the best thing about Holy Week is coming to as much of it as you can do, because from Palm Sunday through to Easter Day, we get this amazing story of not just the life of God, but our lives, told truthfully for the first time. And what a wonderful experience. So, yes, this Easter, I just invite you to come back to church, come home, and discover for yourself the astonishing love and mercy and and meaning of God.